Yo, Roll, aka Mega Buzz. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a Kingdra Hisuian Basculegion deck, and I'm really excited to get into this deck because I haven't really made a video about a deck like this in quite some time. I think the last time I did it was maybe 5 or 6 months ago with Tinkaton and Hisuian Basculegion, so I'm really excited to jump in to that deck list. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, here we are at that deck list with Kingdra being one of the 2 main attackers in the deck here. Kingdra's attack, Whirl Tide, for 1 water energy, says reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. This attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy card you find there. Then you discard those energy cards and shuffle the others back into the deck. So it doesn't specifically say that we have to hit the active Pokemon, so we can actually bench snipe as well with this Kingdra card. Now, on top of that, to kind of shuffle the energies back into the deck with ease, we are playing Hisuian Basculegion with its free attack Upstream Spirits 20 times. This attack does 20 damage for each basic energy card in your discard pile, and then you shuffle those cards back into your deck. So, with playing 25, you might not be able to see it, but it's a kind of like a little image with a little number here. It says 25 energy cards in this deck. We can hit some pretty high numbers. Now, of course, we do need a couple other pieces to kind of get going here. So we are playing a 4-3-3 Horsea, Seadra, and Kingdra line, a 3-2 Basculin, and then 2 Basculegion, and then 1 Radiant Greninja for that Concealed Cards ability. We are playing 4 Irida to be able to search our deck for a Water-type Pokemon and an item card as well, so being able to find, you know, our rare candies or our Super Rod or anything we might need like that with that Irida is very helpful. Now, we're also playing 3 Candice. Now, the nice thing about Candice is it doesn't exactly limit us to be able to find just one Pokemon. Sometimes we can find multiple. So, Candice says, look at the top 7 cards of your deck and may reveal any number of Water-type Pokemon and Water energy cards you find there. Put them in your hand and shuffle the other cards back into the deck. So, in a perfect world, we can go Candice, look at the top 7, find, you know, Seadra, Basculegion, Radiant Greninja, Water energy, and another water energy, and then we can go, okay, evolve, bench Greninja, conceal cards, attach for turn, and be able to just thin the deck and get a lot of the pieces that we need on top of being able to get energies into our discard pile to draw more cards with that Radiant Greninja. We are playing 1 copy of Lana's 8 as well, which is a really nice late game supporter. Says put up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon that don't have a rule box and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So it's really helpful to be able to, okay, well, I have a rare candy in my hand, or I already have a Seadra evolved. I need a Kingdra. Grab a Kingdra, grab a water energy, evolve, attach, Whirl Tide, and start hitting again. 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Super Rod, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Buddy-Buddy Poffin, 1 Hyper Aroma for the ace spec of choice here to be able to find our Seadras and our Hisuian Basculegions as well. 1 Technical Machine Evolution to be able to just use that evolution attack and then choose up to 2 of our Pokemon that are on our bench and evolve both of them, which is pretty nice because let's say if we have 2 Seadra on the bench, we can actually use that evolution to get those Seadras into Kingdras as well. And then we are playing 1 Cycling Road, which says once during each player's turn, that player may discard a basic energy card from their hand in order to draw a card. Now, with all these, sometimes the deck does give you quite a bit of energies, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because you can just Ultra Ball them away, Conceal Cards them away, and then just power up your Hisuian Basculegion, and then keep attacking with your Kingdra afterwards with that Whirl Tide. So I'm really excited to jump in to that gameplay. So let's jump right into it. Alrighty, here at that gameplay. But before we get into all this, I gotta give a huge shout out to my buddy AJ for actually providing the deck list for today's video. So thank you, AJ. Really appreciate it, and huge shout out to him. Now, going first or second with this deck genuinely doesn't really matter. We had the Technical Machine Evolution that we can grab off Irida as well. And then we also, well, we can't grab it off of Irida, sorry. You can only grab items off of Irida. They changed it. But either way, you had Technical Machine Evolution to be able to kind of use that a little bit. Or if we end up going first, we can just use that Hyper Aroma to be able to grab a bunch of stage 1s and then evolve them. And then we can actually attach Evolution, evolve all those stage 1s that we just evolved with the Hyper Aroma into the Kingdras and things like that. So, playing against our Charizard opponent here, which can be pretty interesting because Charizard tends to have quite a bit of HP. So, our starting Pokemon on our active spot is Hisuian Basculin, which is good because we have that Gather the Crew attack for free, which says search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, put them on the bench. So we're going to be able to bench the Basculin, conceal cards with our Radiant Greninja, and then we're going to be able to also attach an energy if we want to, but not really need to. We're going to use the Gather the Crew attack here to grab ourselves 2 Horsea and pass to our opponent here. All they did is attach to their Charmander and then passed back to us. Then they're going to use Steady Fire Breathing. So our opponent doesn't have a great opening hand, which in all fairness, neither do we. So we need this concealed cards to kind of hit some pretty good things here. And unfortunately it doesn't, but we're going to be able to grab 2 Kingdras here. We're going to be able to evolve our Hisuian Basculin into Hisuian Basculegion, retreat out of the active Basculin, and then upstream Spirits for 120, hitting for weakness on that Charmander here to take 1 prize card. Now, this is where it can get a little dicey. If our opponent's playing like Unfair Stamp or something, they have that going for them. They can have Counter Catcher and stuff. They have Pheasantipity on top of being able to just use Flip the Script and draw a bunch of cards. So we're going to have to see what we got going on here. Our opponent going to have that Pheasantipity, going to be able to use that Flip the Script. We're going to bench another Charmander here, flip the script, draw 3 cards, and now they're in a position where they're going to nest ball here, being able to grab themselves that Rotom V. Now let's see if they have that Forest Seal Stone, maybe an Arven to get that Forest Seal Stone. If not, they have that Instant Charge, which is just draw 3 cards and pass. So they're going to Counter Catcher here, up the Hisuian Basculin here, attach Fire Energy, bench the Mew EX, and just going to instant charge to end the turn. So still not quite Rare Candy Charizard, but we need to really start taking care of the Pheasantipity on the bench, the Rotom, and the Mew to close out this game if we can. So we're going to attach to our Basculin, retreat into Hisuian Basculegion, and we're going to be able to Candice here, whiff on the Candice. We don't want to take any of those energies. And then we're just going to be able to upstream Spirits for knockout for 80 damage on that Charmander here, putting us at a 4-6 split. So our opponent did brick a little bit here, but if anybody knows, Charizard is a great comeback deck, regardless of what's going on. So they're going to Nest Ball here for a Duskull. Going to also have that Flip the Script. Going to be able to restart if they can get their hand down to less than 3 cards. Going to have the Instant Charge. Going to be able to find Arven and Forest Sealstone and Rare Candy. So we're just going to have to see what they got going on here. Night Stretcher coming down. Attach the Fire Energy to their Charmander here. Now, our deck doesn't really play Boss's Orders or Prime Catcher or anything like that. We're kind of just more going for hit big with energies because we don't really need to worry about bossing or anything. A lot of the decks in the meta right now aren't playing Manaphy, so we can just hit the bench pretty freely most of the time. So our opponent here just going to instant charge. We're going to be able to evolve our Seadra into Kingdra. We're going to be able to grab our Seadra and Hisuian Basculegion. Conceal cards here, discarding energy, draw 2. We're going to be able to get a Horsea and a couple other things. We're going to use that Irida here to grab ourselves that Rare Candy potentially. Maybe we're eyeing up something different here. Maybe going to go for Ultra Ball so we can get the Kingdra Buddy-Buddy Poffin to thin. We're just going to have to see. So Buddy-Buddy Poffin here, just kind of looking through the deck, thinning it out, getting cards out. We could have grabbed Rare Candy or an Ultra Ball here. But ultimately, we have kind of every piece we really need. So we don't really need to worry about it too much. We're going to attach the Water Energy to our Kingdra, evolve our Horsea into Seadra, and then next turn we can evolve our Seadra into Kingdra, have the Water Energy, and everything like that. We got 2 Basculegions ready to go. We're just going to upstream Spirits for that 20 damage. Nothing too crazy, just kind of getting it back in to the deck here. We're going to use that Rare Candy on that Dusknoir here. Cursed Blast, unfortunately, getting rid of our Radiant Greninja, which is our draw engine, but we do get to take another prize card, so we're going to go to a 3-5 split here. And we just got to watch out because our opponent, like I said, playing Charizard can have quite a bit of things going on here. They have an Arceus, so using that Arceus V and V-Star for that Star Birth ability. So if we can get out of our Hisuian Basculegion into the Kingdra and take care of that V-Star or the Arceus V before they evolve, we're in a really good spot here. So that's exactly what we got going on here. We're going to evolve the Seadra into Kingdra, attach the Water Energy, bench a Horsea, bench a Hisuian Basculin, Cycling Road, discard energy, draw an energy, unfortunately. Then we're going to Whirl Tide here, getting 300. Now, we could KO the Mander here, but I really want to get rid of that Pheasantipity or the Arceus V because we're in a position where we don't want them drawing more cards. Their hand's already really big at 13 cards in hand now. They have the Arceus V-Star, and if they can just go Starbirth, find a bunch of pieces, find the Forest Sealstone into, you know, Arvin on top of this, they're looking at a pretty crazy turn here. Now, we really need them to also not have Unfair Stamp, because if they have Unfair Stamp, then we're in a position where our hand's not going to have much going on to it. And if we don't end up drawing into energies and getting lucky off the World Tide, we kind of just lose. So our Charizard opponent here is cooking up quite the comeback potentially. We're at a 1-5 split. And they're going to Rare Candy. And we're going to have to see if it's that Charizard or the Dusknoir here. Which means if it took them that long, they probably have a Dusknoir also in hand. But they're going to go into that Charizard EX here. Infernal Rain opts to just not use the ability. Shuffle the deck up. Retreat into the Charizard here. Rare Candy into a Dusknoir. But they can't use the Dusknoir because if they do, we just take a prize card and we win. So they can't be doing that. Gonna get a Pokestop down here. Seeing this crazy Arceus V-Star hybrid Charizard deck. Haven't seen one of these in quite some time. Iono coming down, which is not ideal for us. We're gonna get one card here, but we get that Lana's Aid, being able to get a couple pieces out of our discard pile, like Water Energies when they KO the Kingdra can be helpful, and a couple other things as well. Nestball coming down for our opponent here for that Charmander. Roll that Pokestop, whiff on the Pokestop. And we're in a position where actually Pokestop kind of hurts us. We don't really want to be discarding our Water Energies or anything like that. So there's going to Burning Darkness here onto our Kingdra, taking one prize card here. Now we just got to promote the Kingdra and hope that we can really get going here. We're going to have the energy, so we just need to hit at least 2 energies off of our World Tide here. So we're going to be able to World Tide here, hopefully hit a couple. We hit 3 energies, hitting for 180 damage on that Mew EX to take our last prize card against our Charizard EX opponent. I've had tons of fun playing this just Kingdra Hisuian Basculegion deck, and sometimes you really just, when you hit 6 energies and you just blow up something on their bench, it feels absolutely incredible. Now, let's jump right in to that outro. Alright, that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm gonna make sure to put the deck list that I played in today's video in the description below, so you guys want to try it out for yourself, you'll be able to. And once again, huge shout out to AJ for actually providing the deck list for us to use in today's video. So thank you, AJ. Really appreciate it. If you guys enjoy the content I've been making so far in the channel, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!